Hello, this is Stephen's Story again with tips on trading. I want to talk with you about minimizing losses. This is perhaps the most important thing you'll ever do as a trader to become successful. There are many tools. I've talked about trade plans, I've talked about using your demo account, I've talked about which strategies you use and so forth. But this particular issue of minimizing losses and maximizing your gains is going to make or break you as a live trader. In your demo account, you can perfect this whole thing. I've talked about using your demo account for creating a trade plan and perfecting that sort of work. Well, try this. Add this into your trade plan. Here's an example I'll use. I have a student who perfected this, and his trouble, the problem he was having was he was having lots of great gains, but he was allowing trades. Now get this, the market continually rides up and down and up and down, back and forth, and it's not uncommon you'll enter a trade that will come into the positive, into the profit-making territory just slightly, and then back off into the negative, and then profit, and then negative, and profit and negative. Well, the problem with that is you can't always tell which one is going to go back into the negative and then continue going into the negative. And that's going to be the one that's going to take your account, or that's the one that was going to force you to have to cut a large loss. So this particular student decided that to solve this problem he was facing, he would just simply not allow a trade to come back into the negative that had already gone profitable. Despite how often the market will go up and down, he decided, I'm going to try this and see if it doesn't solve the problem I'm facing. So he did. And when I got a look at his trade report, about a third, literally 30% or so of his trades were at nearly break even. Tons of zeros all over his trade report. And I began to look at that and I realized, my gosh, this guy just turned a $10,000 account into over $100,000 in 11 days. And a third of his trades are near break even or right at break even. The plan worked for him. Okay, this was something he decided all on his own. He had the right strategies, he had the right programs, he was perfecting the trade plans, but he just hadn't managed his losses properly. And as soon as he made that decision to not allow his trades to come back into the negative, once they had already gone profitable, and to cut his losses where they never did go profitable, where he miscalculated, cut them quick, all of a sudden he was growing an account leaps and bounds, making money hand over fist, perfecting a trade plan he'd been working on for months. And that was the biggest flaw in the trade plan. See, your trade plan has got to be perfected. It's got to be perfected in the demo account. And that is probably the most important factor of a successful trade plan of any others, is minimizing your losses. Don't worry about cutting the loss at break even or cutting your trade, closing trade at break even. What's important is you don't lose your principal that way, so that all the positive trades you do make now are useful. They stay there. They stay in your account because you don't allow them to be lost again. You're not repeating yourself, not reinventing the wheel, not having to come back and make up for losses because you were willing to cut the loss when it's very small, or cut the trade, close the trade before it comes back into the negative again. So what if you have 30% of your trades that wind up break even? It means all the ones that were profitable stay profitable, and you don't have to make up for those losses all over again. That's Tips on Trading, and this is Stephen's Story.